good evening, or morning, or afternoon. Whatever time it happens to be when you find yourself listening to this latest episode, I hope it's good. I certainly hope it's more good than the week I just had. Okay, my week wasn't terrible, but I'll give you a brief summary. There's a device that's been on the market since about 2016 called the FreeWrite. This is not an ad, and I'm in no way affiliated with the company that makes it. They are not paying me to mention their product, and if you don't believe me, listen to how I'm about to take a giant dump on it. The FreeWrite is on sale for $549. What does that $549 get you? It gets you a portable device with a mechanical keyboard connected to an e-ink screen. For those of you who don't know what an e-ink screen is, it's the screen they use for Kindle e-readers. It looks a lot like real paper. The FreeWrite for $549 gives you this screen. And with the push of a button, the screen illuminates, allowing you to use the device in complete darkness. And for $549, the machine lets you send files to your cloud service of choice, like Google Docs, for example, which is mine. This thing is perfect for writing, which I do a lot of. This $549 device does a lot of other things too. Okay, that's not true, like at all. This $549 thing is only for writing. That's it. That's all it does. And you can already buy a pretty good writing device that also lets you do a million other things too for a lot less money. You may have heard of it. It's called a Chromebook. Okay, but I'm not being totally fair. First of all, if I could afford the FreeWrite, I'd most definitely buy it. So this rant is some broke boy behavior, and I'm okay with admitting that. Second, the fact that the Chromebook can do more misses the point. The FreeWrite is a limited device, but that's the point. It allows for distraction-free writing. And for anyone who doesn't write and also doesn't have undiagnosed adult ADHD, this might not make much sense. It probably sounds like buying a thin crust pizza. Why would anyone pay more money for less product? But if you read some of the reviews from the people who have bought the FreeWrite, then you'll see that the people who get it totally get it. I certainly get it. And like I said before, if I could afford one, I'd have it. But I can't, so I don't. But what if I could get a similar product for just a fraction of the price? What if there was a product called the Alpha Smart Neo 2 that also included a full-size keyboard and an old-school LCD screen that isn't e-ink but is still clear and viewable in direct sunlight? And what if they were in abundant supply because they used to be used in schools to teach kids how to type? Well, guess what? There's a product called the Alpha Smart Neo 2 with a full-size keyboard and an old-school LCD screen, and it is in abundant supply. And I purchased one online for about $40. So, instead of paying $549 like a sucker, I paid $40 like a fiscally responsible boss. And guess what? Guess what, listeners? Guess what I learned by saving myself $509? I learned that sometimes you get what you pay for. Because I spent the entire week working on a really cool episode, and I wrote a bunch for it on my $40 Alpha Smart writing device. And before I could transfer it to my computer, it just disappeared. A critical error occurred and erased everything I'd written. Everything gone. This isn't as catastrophic as it might sound, though. I'd written a large portion of the episode on my computer, so I didn't lose everything I'd written. I just lost everything I'd written on that device. So I'm eventually going to rewrite what I lost, and at some point in the future, I'm going to complete the podcast episode I had planned for this week. But there wasn't enough time for me to finish it in time for this week. But that's okay, because thanks to Joe, you will not be going empty-handed. Or would that be empty-eared? Whatever. Anyway, it just so happened that Joe came in clutch and recorded a podcast of his own. I've been bothering Joe. Actually, bothering probably isn't a strong enough word for what I've been doing. I've been harassing Joe, trying to get him to start a podcast of his own. Not one that he can do instead of this one, although that's totally fine if you want to do that, Joe. I won't threaten to sue you like another prominent podcast personality that should go unnamed. Instead, I've been trying to get him to start a podcast that he could do in addition to this one. And since I'm recording this segment without Joe here, I'm able to say some things that Joe would never, ever let me say if he were here recording with me. The reason why I've been pushing him so hard to start a podcast is because, well, he'd be really, really good at it. He'd absolutely crush it. He's witty, he's knowledgeable, he's an excellent conversationalist, he's charismatic, and most important of all, he's black. Okay, maybe his unapologetic blackness isn't the most important factor. Psych, it totally is. Because podcasts are popular with kids these days. And I know that in my youth, as one of the only black kids growing up in a vast sea of whiteness, having someone as intelligent and as insightful as Joe in my cassette tape deck every week would have been invaluable on my journey of self-discovery and self-love. So putting a Joe into the entertainment universe is a good thing, a very, very good thing. See, the thing is, though he and I are similar in a lot of ways, we're not the same. Even though on first listen you might think we are, kind of like Blink-182 and Boxcar Racer, Joe has a lot to say. And quite frankly, I want to hear it without also hearing myself ramble on and on about something stupid. Like, why would Kevin Cadogan ever go back to Third Eye Blind? Like, dude, they disrespected you so much. Anyway, whatever. Back to Joe. If you're listening, and I know you are, Joe, no pressure, but after that meltdown on that other podcast that shall not be named, you're the only good Joe we've got left. So, in conclusion, I'd like to say, sure, my week wasn't very good, but my weekend was fantastic, because that's when I got the email from Joe that included the very first episode of his very own podcast. And without further ado, here it is. But actually, before we get to that, I have a message for everyone watching this on YouTube. Unfortunately, there weren't any cameras present during Joe's recording, so this podcast is audio only. Okay, without further ado, for real this time, here it is. After this misinterpreting movie's theme song. Let's hit it!
All the movies were misinterpreting. That's alright. That's okay. You're really smart, and that's fair play. Misinterpreting.
And here we go. All right, this is my first solo podcast that I am hosting. If you want to turn around and exit this podcast, now is the time to do so. We are going to be... Look, there is no script. There is no insightful dialogue. Tyrice has nothing to do with this episode, so if you're coming here for some insight, some kind of wisdom, some kind of sage whatever, you've come to the wrong place. This is going to be me and my friend Chris, and we are talking Power Rangers, and not a damn one of you can stop us. So, Chris, go ahead and say hi to the audience.
What do I say to that? That was fantastic.
There's not much to say.
I don't know how to cope with that. I mean, I'm Chris. Hi.
It sounds like I'm good at what I do, right?
Yeah, you're.
No, I am not.
You got the hang of this. This is your jam now.
This is my jam that I'm not getting paid for, which says everything that you need to know about where I am in my life. But yeah, so Tyrice has been bugging me to start my own podcast along with some other people. I've been fine doing the podcast with Tyrice, but we don't always get a chance to talk about some of the topics that I want to talk about, and not as in like I'm being held back or anything, but I just want to geek out about the bullshit that I'm into.
You're holding him back, Tyrice. Stop it.
Tyrice, I didn't know how to tell you this. I feel stunted. My growth, my potential is being stunted by you wanting me to be an intellectual. We both know that's not where I belong. So, but yeah, this is fun. I don't know what this is gonna be. This podcast does not have a name or any identifying features. This is just going to be the ramblings of a madman and his friends.
This is going to be under the title Miscellaneous.
Yes, that's it. Miscellaneous. Just if anything, I should call it the Junk Drawer Podcast.
Yeah. You're going to find everything in here.
There's
Rubber
gonna be-
gloves, screws, some nails, some reason, some Chinese cookies.
I was actually gonna say you're gonna find all of the Chinese sauce packets that you didn't use, the Chinese ones, the Taco Bell ones, the ketchup,
expired Burger King coupons.
Oh God, yeah, just everything that you don't actually need, but you for some reason
keep it.
Yeah, exactly, something like that. But we are going to talk about Power Rangers. I told Chris a long time ago, even way before.
Months ago.
Yeah, it was more than months. We've talked about this for a couple years now.
Well, it got more headway like months ago.
Well, it seemed like it was actually a thing that was going to happen.
Tyrice's podcast. That's what sparked it.
Yeah. It seemed like I was actually going to do something productive. And now that productive thing, this moment, is talking about Power Rangers. Me and Chris are both big fans of Power Rangers. We came in at different times. I'm older, so I came in, I remember the commercials that were advertising the Power Rangers before it was actually a show. I remember watching Fox, and they had the little commercials. I'll have to show you some of them afterwards.
See, that's not in my realm of remembering.
No. They were already an established thing. By the way, I have to give you props on your Power Ranger shirt.
Yeah,
so.
Walmart, man.
Yeah, they have. I've seen that shirt. I haven't picked it up. I have so many shirts.
I have two. I have the one from Loot Crate that you saw.
There's the Loot Crate. I think I
gained a ton of weight during pandemic, so it doesn't fit me anymore.
You gained a ton of weight. I have gained so. I just my weight actually stepping on a scale looks kind of the same, similar. It's not how I feel.
It makes me sad because that Loot Crate shirt was awesome. It had your favorite Ranger, Tommy, as the green and white Ranger at the same time.
And in this podcast, we will talk about Tommy and my relationship with Tommy, but
it's his best friend.
Let's come around to that into a bit. So, like I was saying, I got into Power Rangers from the get-go, from the beginning. Chris, you came in after it was more of a established thing. Do you want to talk about when you got into?
Yeah, I had not seen it. I've heard of Power Rangers, and I had a bunch of toys from it, and me and my friend actually went to Halloween trick-or-treating as the Red Ranger and the White Ranger, but I believe that was after the movie had come out. I had seen the movie, I think, in 96, and it came out in 95. Mm-hmm. So I had not watched the TV show. I had not watched the TV show at all.
Yeah, it was 95 now, because I remember we talked about it on the podcast.
You talked about it last episode of the podcast, yeah.
So that was, I'm trying to think. Okay, so let me look up when it actually premiered. And this is exciting podcasting you're getting right here. I am looking up. Yeah, I'm doing research late. We literally I have a Power Ranger a graphic book, all the details stuff that I brought over so we can look at right in front of us, and I'm not even looking at that. It might even say
it would be faster on your phone because this is a lot of pages.
This is a lot of pages. We would start at the beginning. I would think it would. I don't know.
Look at that. That was convenient. 1985.
Well, that was the movie. I'm looking for. So I'm trying to look for when the show started. If you find it before me, I'm gonna feel dumb. But also, my fingers have gone stupid now. Come on, fingers, you can do it. Come on. Ha! That's right. Okay, now I remember why I remember it. So it was 1993 when it came out.
1993 in America, 93.
Yeah, in America. We're not talking about the Sentai that it was from.
93.
I'll probably do another show that talks about the Sentai.
I thought it was 94.
No, it was 93. And here's the funny thing. I think I know one reason why I gravitated to this. August 28th,
Oh, that's right by your birthday.
1993. So yeah, it's literally the day before my birthday. So of course, I was just like, "What's this?
What's
like
this?
a birthday
What's this?
gift?
There's
Like,
magic everywhere.
yeah, exactly." And when I was growing up as a kid, my dad got me hooked on martial arts and kung fu movies, and that's all I was interested in. Like I think I've said before that my mom always tells a story that I tried to learn how to kick before I tried to learn how to walk. So obviously,
that was the one thing that when I found it out, at least it was the coolest thing about Power Rangers. Most of the actors and actresses did their own stunts, and they did their own martial arts. Like most of them already knew martial arts going into it.
In a way, they
but
did their own.
I've at least read that most of the stunts they did were all them.
Well, so
like,
the civilian
when
stunts.
when they're morphined, it's I think it's the Japanese actors and actresses doing it.
Yeah,
but
so what they did was they took so all the civilian things are the actors and stuff from the Western show, all of the morph sequences except for, and like later on I think it changed up a bit. Where you had some more stuff with the actors, because obviously for certain things you would need to have the American actors like in costumes and stuff.
Yeah.
But
you could tell where it changed in the TV show. You could instantly tell
you
the way it was
that,
filmed.
You say that now.
I say that now.
When I was a kid,
yeah,
I had no fucking idea.
No idea.
Like when I first learned it, I was just like, "What?"
I think I figured it out because I watched the show. Like, at least I watched the original show, like repeats of the original show up until. Honest to God, up until like 10th grade, like when I was like religiously watching, and then I took a break off of it. But like I noticed in 10th grade that shots looked different.
Well, yeah, the
shots, understand why.
The Japanese shots would be like darker.
And I didn't even learn that Japan had done the show prior to America until I think you told me when I met you.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
I had
so
no idea.
I didn't realize it was that far. So I had found, I was I had to be in high school or something when I found out, which for me felt like it was way too late because I'm just like, I can like clearly as a kid I could see like all of a sudden when they transform they're only in certain areas and the picture is like darker and stuff. Yep. But no, I was just like, it's Power Rangers. They're fighting. It's awesome. Yeah, see, look, there we go.
They're fighting. It's great.
That's pretty much what it was. So obviously you get older and you're just like, oh wow, I was dumb.
You don't want to talk about it because like you've made fun of me for a lot of stuff I did not know, and it's funny that I turned to this page because. You want to know when I learned that Tommy wasn't White Ranger first?
Okay, yeah. Because so did you let everyone know when you came in, and then this part will make sense.
The first thing of the Power Rangers I saw was the movie,
and I
didn't watch the show at all prior to the movie.
We're talking about the original 1995 movie,
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Yeah. Yep.
So when you saw that,
I knew there was a show. I just never watched it prior to the movie.
Yeah.
And then I saw that, and I saw Tommy as the White Ranger because he was. I think he was White Ranger in the show before the movie came out. Right? He had to have been because he was there already established as a White Ranger. Yeah. Because they in the movie they're about to become the Ninjetti.
Yes.
So they're at the end of their Mighty Morphin.
He was White Ranger already in the show. In the movie, they had him do the Ninjetti, and then I think it was maybe I can't remember exactly how long after that they did the Ninjetti
long.
Well, they had the Ninjetti but they switched to the Ninjetti on the show, so they had their own separate. Even though like it was still connected,
because it kind of connected with the movie.
Well,
I mean a little bit.
They took the idea from the movie, but it was I guess like an alternate universe.
Yeah.
Technically type of thing. Like everything was kind of the same, but it was different. So they got their ninja powers from Ninjor on the show.
I didn't see the infamous like Green Ranger saga until I was in 9th grade.
Bro.
Until I was in 9th grade.
So you were in 9th grade. This started when I was in 4th grade.
Yeah, I know. Everybody had saw it like when it came out, and
I can't tell you what it was like seeing that level.
I can imagine because as a 9th grader, I loved it. As a 9th grader,
yeah,
I saw it and I was like, "Hey, look, this is," because it wasn't. This is also when I discovered Jason. We'll get into that later. But when he came on, I was like, "Oh, cool, Tommy's in this," and I was like, "Why is he wearing green?" Literally, because I didn't know the title of the episode. And then he became the Green Ranger, and I was like, "What is this?" I was so confused, but like this is I hadn't seen a Green Ranger up in that point. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, and just being
So
a
many
little kid
questions 'cause he
at
was
that
evil?
time, destroyed.
That's a problem. He was my hero at the time. Like
Yeah.
going like seeing that movie and everything when I was younger, and he was still my favorite up until like 9th grade and 10th grade area.
Mm-hmm.
And then seeing him as the villain, I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Why is my
Not
life a lie?
not even just the villain, like kicking the crap
Oh, it wasn't even
out of the rest of
wasn't
just
even fair.
No. But it was all stopped. Yes, I know it was a team effort because everything
Here
the
we
Power
go.
Rangers is about teams.
Here we go.
But I just want to state that the person who actually stopped his reign of terror was none other than who was the Red Ranger? Or no. Actually, let's go to that. Let's go ahead and jump to that because you knew it was coming.
Yeah.
The Red Ranger the Red Ranger, the Black Ranger, and the Yellow Ranger were all different in the movie compared to the show, and this was based off what had happened in the show.
Let's make this very clear. There's nothing wrong with Trini and Adam. Aisha and Adam.
No, nothing
I
wrong
love
at all.
both of them.
Yes, but who was the Red Ranger when you came in?
I feel like Rocky was in the wrong place at the wrong time, okay? Like they gave it to the wrong person.
They gave it to Rocky. So in the movie, because Chris started at the movie, remember this. So at the show, we had already had a cast change. So you had 3 of the actors leave, and they replaced them with 3 new actors. They actually did a whole thing where it's like the changing of the guard.
It was
and
like
everything.
a money dispute or something, wasn't it?
That's actually that's what it was. It wound up being that they were just like,
Allison
hey, we
St.
need
John
to make
and all
more.
them
Yeah, we need to make
got,
more
like,
money.
pay cuts or something, and they just left.
Yeah, and they were just well. It wasn't even just that. They literally told them they asked for more money, and they were just like, no. And so we're gonna get more. We're gonna get someone else in now.
Yeah.
That you want more
It's a
money.
shame.
Yeah, but Rocky.
Let's
was the Red Ranger.
Let's be a little bit nice before we trash it.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with Rocky as a ranger.
No.
Specifically a ranger, not a color, just a ranger.
Okay, I will give you that. Rocky as a ranger, there's nothing wrong. Later on,
But.
like a lot of the rangers later on in different seasons, like move on to like maybe different colors or they stay on. Because you have a bunch of them who stay on, and just continue as the show, and then when they're finally done with the show, that's when they get replaced. So Rocky was a Power Ranger. I don't take anything away from him as a Power Ranger.
His best years are in Zeo when he's blue.
As a Blue
100%.
Ranger. That's where he fits in, and he was the Lancelot. He fits in as a Lancelot.
He's not a leader, and he made Red obsolete, and I didn't realize this until I was older and I met the god that is Jason.
Yes, so not. I don't even want to say that Rocky. It's not all Rocky's fault that the Red was obsolete, because you had Tommy, who was the critical darling of Power Rangers, and everyone loved him because he was the Sixth Ranger. And when you bring in a new person, they have to be stronger than the other Rangers, because that's how it works. There's a lot of y'all Tommy fans out there that
I'm one of them.
I like Tommy too. I was a big fan of Tommy. But plot armor, people. That was Tommy's biggest power. Plot armor. Because he was the last one to come in. Oh, we got to give him something special, something to make him stand out. Oh, let's make him him to be just a little bit stronger.
But Jason David Frank did such a good job with it, though.
He did.
You can hate on Tommy all you want, but
No.
it was so good.
Jason David Frank did a great job.
And he's been
with
so
Tommy.
loyal to the Power Rangers. Literally, what was the last thing he did with them? Wasn't it recent?
Yeah, the last thing he did with the Power Rangers was the 25th anniversary? I forget what anniversary we're at. Whatever the anniversary we've been at.
Old,
They literally brought him back to do his thing. But Power Rangers has been most of his career. Let's be honest.
It's been all of his career, I think. I don't know him in anything else. I know you probably do.
I just didn't want to say that. I didn't want to come out and completely
I love Jason
say
Frank,
that.
but it's. I mean, I've seen all of his power.
If it wasn't for Power Rangers, he wouldn't have worked.
Yeah,
Just
I don't
kinda-
think so. I mean, he's a good Power Rangers actor. Put it that way. Power
Yes.
Rangers looks for specific actors because
Yes.
they're good at one thing and not very good at other things.
Yes.
He's good at that.
Well, actually, there have been Amy Jo Johnson.
No, yeah, you're right. There has been
she's
some
moved
that
on.
moved on.
She's doing directing. She's
Really?
actually
She's a
actually
director?
been doing some directing as well as like having her own projects. So you've had other Power Rangers who are doing more things, and there's nothing wrong if that's like your main thing.
Yeah.
There's other things we could talk about Jason David Frank that we're not going to get into because we don't. This is not really about that. There are people who like
the last
Jason.
thing
Okay.
I would say, and this has nothing to do with the show or the movie at all,
Mm-hmm.
but it has to do with Power Rangers. The YouTube video of him fighting Ryu is the greatest thing of all time, and I know you've seen it. You probably can't remember it right now.
I've seen it. I know what
It's
you're talking about.
amazing. I don't know. I can't remember what channel did it. I think it was like
It was wait a minute, him actually fighting
it's
Ryu?
actually Jason David Frank as the Green Ranger fighting Ryu.
Because I want to say it was Bat in the Sun, but I can't remember if that was actually Jason David Frank.
Or
Or-
the one I'm talking about was 100% Jason David
Okay.
Frank. I don't know who the Ryu actor was, but it was him being Tommy.
I'll have to double check.
Oh.
Just because I feel like there were a couple videos, but the other thing that throws it off is because they did they did Power Rangers, and because Power Rangers has like a mobile game. And they had Street Fighter
played a little bit
crossover
of
in
it.
that, and I feel like that was where
this
that
video
came in.
came
So
before that.
Yeah, it came before
Yeah.
that, but it was so close that they did a promotion, and I
Because-
believe they
yeah.
used Jason David Frank in that promotion. So that's where I'm having like trouble like pinpointing like.
I love
if it
that
was
video, dude.
that.
It's one of my top YouTube videos ever.
Yeah. So
amazing.
or maybe you know what it might be. I don't think they used his face, but I think he did the voices. I think he did
what? For the
the
game?
video. No, for the video.
No, he
This
literally
video,
takes
he
his
was in
helmet
this.
off. And it's
Okay,
him.
so maybe it is the same one.
Mhm.
So maybe
He
it was just that they did it at the end.
He comes in
Yeah.
at the beginning not morphed, and then he morphs, and then he takes his helmet off.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to double check this because I'm a little hazy on
It's
that because there were so many things.
So good.
But yeah, it was good.
But anyway, back to Rocky.
Back to Rocky. Back to Rocky. The trouble
back
with
to
Rocky-
lovely little Rocky.
Yes. Go ahead. Tell us your impression. Tell us your impression of
Joe-
Rocky before.
Hold on, let's back up because Joe gets the thought that I was immediately calling him the best Red Ranger, and I only had knowledge at the time when we were first talking about it about Mighty Morphin, Zeo, and maybe a teeny tiny bit of space.
Let's just say it wasn't all Mighty Morphin because.
Well, not all of Mighty Morphin, but you know what I mean. I had seen episodes with Jason, but I didn't know a ton about him.
So I'm gonna sip this while you go ahead and explain to these people why you were wrong.
I was very well versed in the Rocky Red Ranger and all those guys after the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was good with Zeo too because then Adam became green, Rocky was blue.
Mm-hmm.
You had Tommy as the Red Ranger and help me out, who was yellow?
Yellow was.
It wasn't Aisha, was it?
No, it was So I can think of the actor's
Pink
name.
was Amy before Kat came along. Or was Kat Space?
Cat was no. Cat came along at the end of the Ninja, and I think she was right before Zeo.
Okay.
I think she was the we actually have the book here, so we can look.
Jetty, Alien Rangers, Zeo. Yeah, her. I don't know her name, but I can't remember her character name.
And
at
now
all.
I can't think of it too because you put me on the spot. There's a thing right here where this says the names, and it's gonna piss me off because
Tanya, is that her?
Tanya. Yeah, I don't understand. Sorry
Tanya.
to the actress who plays Tanya. I knew your name and just put on the spot. My brain decided
Kat
to.
is shown as the Pink Ranger here, so maybe
Yeah,
it
so
wasn't.
so she came in during Ninjetti, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
That's where
So
you had her take over
Amy
from.
wasn't space at all.
from
Okay.
Amy.
Anyway, but yeah, I was pretty much well versed in all that, and then I had met Joe, and we got talking about Power Rangers one day,
Mm-hmm.
and I had said in conversation that I was like, when I was younger, I used to love Rocky because I did. I went to Halloween as the Red Ranger thinking it was Rocky. And I did like Rocky because I loved the color red. I liked the Red Ranger. That's how it went. That's why I went and moved to Zeo and Tommy became the Red Ranger. I was stoked because I love Tommy too. And then Joe says, wait, stop.
Well, so
No, you stopped me abruptly. We were talking about something completely different. You just stopped me. And you were just like...
wait, but... So at that point in time, you didn't think the Red Ranger was the leader? Like, before Zeo, because there was Tommy.
No, because Tommy was the leader at the time.
Exactly.
Yes, I thought he was like
you thought
second
the White
in
Ranger,
command type deal.
Yeah. The idea that a Red Ranger was second in command.
I had not
because you didn't know.
At that point, I had not watched anything prior to Green Ranger, so Tommy had always been the leader for me, pretty much. So Joe sits me down and is like, "Let me teach you about someone named Jason." I'm like, "What?"
The learning had to begin.
So he had sent a bunch of stuff about him, and then eventually I was like, you know what? I sat down on Netflix, which Netflix, I hate you, but we'll get to that later.
You're not alone in that. There's a lot of people.
I sat down on Netflix and I watched all of Mighty Morphin, and
From the beginning,
and I saw Jason and the fact that he was just a beast, a literal beast. He saved the Rangers so many times that I couldn't even count it on 6 hands.
Jason, the original Red Ranger, the original leader of the Power Rangers, the tank of the team.
If you haven't noticed, Joe has a problem with him.
Zordon went to go ask Alfred to summon 5 teenagers with attitude.
He did need a
to
6,
save
though.
the world. So I'm gonna cover that because you said that. Because I hear what you said, and I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong. But let me get there. Zordon, the guy who was watching over the Earth with his robot Alpha 5, asks Alpha 5 to locate 5 teenagers with attitude to serve as a team to protect the Earth.
None of them have attitude. They're the most polite people ever.
Yeah, except and we'll get to that in a minute too. So they summon five teenagers with attitude, and really attitude in
Quote,
the most
unquote,
like 90s like these kids are outspoken, but they're also like helping your grandmother to your car. We're not talking about like kids who are just out, like
they
causing
weren't
problems.
afraid to speak out for what was right. That's what I think he meant by it.
They were spirited.
There just wasn't a better word at the time.
Spirited is a better word, but like what kids were gonna be like spirited? What the fuck is that?
What is that?
Yeah. So they summon them and give them these incredible powers. Now they summoned 5, but I argued that for at least a good while they could have went with 1, and that man was Jason Scott.
Oh God! Hold
on.
Scott. Wait.
Why do you have to stop me?
I'm sorry. Okay. I'll let you finish, but you're discrediting what I think is your favorite Ranger. I think, and it has nothing to do with anything else but the fact that you have told me before you love him to death.
Okay.
What about your boy Zach? Couldn't it be 2?
I love Zach. So here's the thing, here's the thing with Zach. The show, in a way, does Zach dirty. God,
30. You are 30. I'm 30.
You could say you're in your 30s. I'm on my way out of my 30s. My 30s are like passing me by. But so Zach was a great character, and I couldn't help but enjoy seeing Zach. Zach, I guess I would actually argue, would be the one with the most attitude. Yeah. If you had to think about it, he was kind of brash and everything. He was the Black Ranger. The black guy was the Black Ranger.
Yeah.
A little unfortunate.
The Asian was the Yellow Ranger. We'll not get into all that.
Yeah, we're not going to get into all that. But at the same time, I was like, yo, there's your brother being a Power Ranger. And he's hype. And he can dance. And he can mix that with his fighting. I'm all for that. I was good. But he wasn't the powerhouse that Jason was.
I was about to say, have your time now.
He wasn't a powerhouse that Jason was. And if you wind up reading the comics, the Boom comics for Power Rangers, they do such a better job with Zach of giving him his own autonomy, because in there it shows he's like, wait, what about me? Like, I can lead. I'm strong. I can make good decisions. And they go into that. And I appreciated that so much, because he was entertaining on the show. He would be a good friend. He would have his episodes where he would step up. They would all have the episodes where they would step up individually. But just, he didn't have agency. And he had so much more agency in the book. So did Trini, actually. Like, Trini used to train with Jason.
The sad part about it is I mean, R.I.P. to the actress, because she was great.
Yeah.
But I don't think they gave her enough stuff in the show.
Not quite enough.
I'm sad to say, but I don't remember her episode at all.
The Gung Ho episode. Go back and watch that one.
I can't.
Because no, you can, because that's the original season. The original season's on there.
Oh yeah, okay. They didn't take that one off. I can't watch that. Okay. She was a beast. She would go in and fight, and which makes sense in the comic. Yeah. While her and Jason would train together. Also in the comic, they have a flirtatious thing. Yeah. I'm all for that, because it makes sense. They're both the. Yeah, they didn't go into any of that.
Yeah, not in the
Tommy
show.
and Kimberly at all.
But they were, Trini and Jason were the warriors of the team, hands down. But Jason was the man. Jason got in there and wrecked stuff. You are the man. You were the badass of the team when they have to get the main villain's second of command in to personally just have beef with you, regardless of everything else. Goldar, there we go. Goldar had such.
Goldar was my boy, by the way.
Goldar was dope. He was dope. But
as dumb as he was dope.
But you see, it'd be anything. How many times are the Power Rangers fighting some monster that they created, the monster of the week or whatever? And as soon as Goldar and Jason see each other, it's on sight. It was like, let's go. Like, you and me.
It was the moment they saw each other. Yeah.
You and me. I mean, it even shows that how many weapons did so many people have? Goldar had a sword. Jason had a sword. So as soon as they saw each other, the swords were out. Let's go.
Well, they all had because I had one when I was a kid. They all had the shooters, right? The guns. That
yes.
Didn't the gun that switched to a sword?
All of them had that. So
they didn't really
a couple
use
years
that
ago,
other than just Jason.
No, all of them use it, but it didn't get as much use as you would think.
God, they use them like it's nobody's business.
They use them more
now.
as like guns, as just the gun part. Because I have that, because remember I spent $100 on that set at San Diego, and we're talking about a used one that had been open, hadn't been horribly mistreated. But
I had seen a used set of the coins for $150 at the Middletown Comic Con, and I sat there and contemplated, and I was like, no, walk away, Chris. Walk away.
It just so happens that the day that I got that set, that was the original set that I could not get when I was a kid, that I paid $100 for, that was used, was also the day that I got the picture with Austin St. John, who played Jason at Comic-Con. But look, just all of this...
Rub that in my face too, why don't you?
All of this to say that Jason was the man. Jason was a beast. So when it came time...
Let's not mention that you have a picture with Zach's actor and a picture of other people that we won't mention because they have nothing to do with Power Rangers, but go ahead.
There are more Power Rangers I'm going to get pictures with. You need to just accept this. You need to just accept this. But... So, to bring that back around, basically Jason was the leader. He was the strongest of them. So when the episode came for Power Rangers, and I'm not going to get into this too much, but when Tommy debuted, they put it together that, they kind of pit Jason and Tommy against each other.
Yeah.
And it was the whole thing just like, oh, bro,
it had to be
you can fight. You're strong. Yeah. Hey, bro, you can fight. You're strong.
They were friends at first, right?
Yeah, that was the whole thing. Obviously. They were just like, oh, man, you're tough.
Before Rita and all them took over Tommy's mind. And
as soon as they met, they became fast friends because they were both like badasses.
They were both martial artists and all that other stuff. Yeah.
So, Tommy gets corrupted. He gets kidnapped and basically turned into the evil emissary of Rita Repulsa, and goes to sow discord between the Rangers in his powered up form, and then fighting the Rangers at every turn in his powered up form. And he wrecked them. Let's just put that.
Which they after the I can't speak, the success of that episode, I think they used that storyline in at least the ones that I've seen in every series since then.
So they've used.
I don't know if they were using that in Dino Thunder.
Dino Thunder. Yeah, that was
before they took it off. I was watching.
They definitely reused
with the
that.
White Ranger with him.
Which was ironic because Tommy was
literally the same way.
They had brought, this is years after the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. They bring Tommy back,
and he's in Dino
as
Thunder,
as like a not a main character, but
he's
as
their teacher.
He's their teacher, and he winds up joining the team as a Ranger again. But they do basically the same thing with another Ranger, making him evil at first and attacking the Power Rangers, and then he winds up becoming on their side.
It was literally script for script the same.
Brutal. It was brutal. I was watching this in 4th grade. The man came into their dinosaur and wrecked them and kicked them out.
That's funny that you brought that up because there's I think I sent you the TikTok where the dude's talking over the scene and he's like, "Get out my Zord," and he's like,
and just literally he kicks all of them out. He kicks
them out of the ride like it's Grand Theft Auto.
One man taking on 5 Power Rangers
like it was nothing,
and just dropping them. You do notice the one he had trouble with was Jason. That's the one he had trouble with. But the other thing that no one wants to talk about, because see, I have issue with this because everyone's like, oh, Tommy's the best because look how he wrecked him. They weren't trying to kill Tommy.
No, they were just
by that point they knew Tommy was the Ranger, and they were trying.
They knew he was a good guy. He was just possessed.
They're not fighting.
Lack of a better word.
They weren't fighting the way that they would have been fighting any other monster.
Yeah,
but
that's
let me tell you, when Jason had enough. When Jason was do you remember that episode? Because he was fighting all of them. He was fighting all of them. What happened? The other Rangers were getting some hits in, but they were still getting knocked around. Yeah. Jason came in and just like,
I'm done with this.
Done. And just whap, 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 whap. They traded blows, but Jason basically was like,
Jason's great.
Told you stop
this. Yeah.
So.
That's the thing is he was a great original Red Ranger. I don't know if I can still say he's the best one ever. And I know that's gonna hurt your feelings, but because there's ones after Rocky that give him a run for their money.
Oh no, there definitely are. My only thing with that is everyone says that Tommy was the greatest. That's because Tommy's actor, Jason David Frank. I know it's confusing with the name similarities. Yeah. He stayed on and was willing to work for the pay that they were willing to give him.
He wasn't worried about all that.
Had Austin St. John, Jason's actor, not have had that situation, we don't know where Jason could have ended up. We do know, because I'm going to bring that up because it's that time, you brought up the fact of Zeo, where Tommy was the Red Ranger.
Oh yeah. You're gonna I got you. Go ahead.
Tommy was the Red Ranger then. Mm-hmm. He's leader. That's fine.
Stop. Okay. Because hold on. I do want to backtrack something. I did know about Jason before Joe because I did watch Zeo as a kid and I loved the Gold Ranger. I had the sword. I had everything. So I knew about Jason 100%. I just didn't know he was the Red Ranger. That's what I wanted to clarify.
He was the original.
Yes, I didn't know that. I just knew he was the Gold Ranger. I knew him as the Gold Ranger.
Yeah. And there you basically knew him as a badass.
Yes.
Because basically what happened is they needed help. The guy that was helping them could not maintain being on Earth, so they needed to transfer the power to someone. Mm-hmm. They transfer it. They call in, out of the cold, Jason. Give Jason the power, and Jason proceeds to just come out whenever they need it and just stomp.
For as long as he could until his energy couldn't handle it anymore.
The only reason he had to stop being a Ranger is because the power was too much for him. And that's only because the power came from a planet where everyone was split into 3 people.
Yeah, here's the thing is how do we know that the person that was split into 3 people wasn't just like a third of a third of a third and not like a full person, a full person, a full person?
I mean, they the way they brought it up is that he was a prince.
I'm not trying to take anything away from Jason. I'm just saying.
No, but I'm just saying.
How do we know, if it was 3 full people, and they're just like because it was that.
Well, no,
way
it was one, I guess, one kind of brain type thing, but they're split into three people. That's just how it is. There's three of them. So even if it's still technically what would be considered one person, but split into three, that means biologically they have, you would say, the strength of three people.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a human running with this power that it took three people to contain.
Yeah. Zeo was probably my to put this in a lack of better terms, my full form as a Power Ranger fan. I loved Zeo. It was literally my favorite. Like Mighty Morphin was great, but I fell in love with Zeo. It's what made me love Power Rangers like more than anything.
Yeah.
Because Zeo, I love that they were numbered, like the shapes, and I was younger, so like I loved the shapes and the numbers that they added up to the points of the shape and everything. I just loved everything about it. And when Jason came on, he didn't come on as Gold Ranger first, but when that I can't think of his name, but the guy that played the character for Gold Ranger before Jason, the 3, when he came on, it was game over for me. I bought everything Gold Ranger, all of it.
I had the staff.
All of it. So did I. Yeah. And I went Halloween again as the Gold Ranger, and then they had Jason come on as him, and it was even better because he was like way better than that other guy. He was like killing everyone, and just the way he morphed was great. Just everything about it.
Everything
awesome.
Just portrayed strength.
Yeah, like prior to the gold, I think white was my favorite because of like it being Saber-Tooth Tiger. The Saba was awesome, but then Gold Ranger came in, and I will give Jason credit that Ranger trumped white for me in every way, shape, or form. And embarrassingly enough, there's a video because my mom, when I was younger, took a ton of videos of me and everything.
I need to see
There's a video in my front yard of me just running around. It was dark outside, running around while she's putting Christmas lights on, fucking morphing as every ranger and having the Gold Ranger staff and just fighting nothing because there was nobody around me. But just like swinging at the air and kicking and I didn't care who saw me. I was just rolling around everything. I think I was in 5th grade when I did that. I think.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'd do that right now. Shit. Catch me on a good night. Yeah. I'd do that right now. So I know I'm going into my Jason thing because I love Jason.
No, you're good.
Let's talk about the aspect of Jason you also appreciate it. Because we're talking about Zeo. Jason came back for that. Now, remember there was a ranger that you enjoyed. It wasn't the blue. He was our little frog at first when you first met him.
Yeah, I fucking love Adam.
So you had Adam.
Adam became one of my favorites when I was way older. Like probably when I started rewatching all the Power Rangers here. Like I liked Adam before, but I don't know. I rewatched the movie, and then I watched. Joe will tell you, I binged watched so many Power Ranger episodes past Mighty Morphin. It was insane.
Oh yeah.
On Netflix, and I became so like. I was such a big fan of Adam because of like how he growed throughout the entire show. He was like, because at first in the movie, when I saw him, he was kind of a klutz, and he didn't really know how to do much of anything. He could still do and fight and stuff, but he was like the clumsy one of the group. And he grew, and in Zeo, he's green, and he knows more things. And like I think was he in Turbo? He was in Turbo, right?
He was in Turbo.
Yeah, in Turbo, I don't remember what color. I think green as well. And he was better in that too. And then I saw the Joe and made me watch the returning episode of him where he morphs when he has the broken morpher from the Black Ranger. One of the best things I've ever seen.
Yes. And I mean he's fighting things and taking down like a group of enemies before he's morphed in that.
He's one of the only Ranger characters that I actually think I've seen the most character growth with. Like outside of Red, Rocky pretty much stayed the same.
Yeah, pretty much.
Actually, Rocky kind of went downhill because he got demoted a bunch.
Well, I mean, the Red Ranger status wasn't as prestigious when he took it over.
He got replaced with a child in Turbo.
There was that.
That's what I mean by demoted.
Yeah, there was that. But there was one thing, and I bring up Zeo because who did Adam decide to get some training in Zeo?
Stop making points, all right? Fucking Jason. I know.
Yes.
I know.
So you see in Zeo that Adam starts training with Jason.
I'm not trying to say Jason's not great. Jason is awesome.
But I'm just saying, like, this is at the one point you did not realize like the legacy of Jason.
No.
And it wasn't even just being a ranger. He helped train a ranger to make him tough as shit.
But I would love to see like a Power Ranger 1v1 being on that, like with Jason as his original Red Ranger, not like a specialized Ranger, just the original Red Ranger, against my Lost Galaxy Red Ranger right here. So I feel like Andros. I feel like he could give Jason a run for his money.
You said Lost Galaxy. I'm thinking about space. That was...
I can't think of his name, but it's not on
I want to
here.
say West, but West was Time Force.
I thought it was Andros.
No, Andros was space. Andros was space. West was Time Force. I cannot remember this one's name.
It doesn't say.
Leo.
Yeah, Leo. Yep,
Leo. There we go.
I feel like Leo.
Which Leo was
like
great.
Leo, once he gets to his final form in the last, because the ending of Lost Galaxy was probably my favorite of all the endings.
Well, his whole thing was a growth thing in the beginning, because remember, he didn't feel like he should be the Red
he
Ranger,
didn't feel like he deserved
because
it.
his brother, he felt his brother should have. His brother was the one who basically they did a play on Sword in the Stone. And instead of him pulling out the sword, it was his brother
Leo, yeah.
Who
His brother did do it
Yeah,
first.
his brother Mike pulled out the sword, and then as the event was happening, I forget exactly what caused it, but it was the earthquake.
Yeah.
He throws it to Leo
and he
and entrusts him with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
but I would love to see a 1v1 with Jason and Leo both at their full forms, just to see.
So here's the thing I'm gonna go to,
and it would specifically be him, because there are other really good Red Rangers, but I feel like he would be the one that would give him a run for his money.
I think so. So I still want to get back to that. Remind me to get back after this to that whole teenagers with attitude thing. Remind me to come back to that, because there was something I wanted to say about that, and we're definitely gonna go to that. But they had the Forever Red episode, which in some cases was good, and in some cases,
days.
And then in some cases, it wound up being a glorified Tommy thing.
No, because isn't that at the end where they said no?
Yeah, remember
was that
at
Tommy
the end
walking up for Jason?
Yes, that was Tommy.
Oh, they did.
And they made Jason say that.
Yeah.
They made Jason.
And one of the greatest.
Yeah. Didn't we watched that together? You remember what that was like?
Bring that up.
Do you remember what that was like? Because I'm just like, because
at that time you had already seen it.
Yeah, I had already seen it.
You were watching it with me, and I had not seen it yet. And they had said that. I remember.
And even
just looking at your face, you were like, you were.
And even you were kind of like, wait.
Because at the time I was older. I was in my 20s then.
Yeah.
So
and
I was
seen
like,
Jason. I
was like, wait, it's a Forever Red episode. Why are they saying he's a? It didn't kind of make much sense, because he didn't start as a Red Ranger. He started as the Green Ranger.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
went white. And he was only red, I think, in
because
Zeo, and then a little bit in Turbo.
It's because he played the game right and did what they wanted. So Saban was stroking him because yeah, exactly. Well, the fact that they had Jason.
The fact that Jason do it was
no, it wasn't Jason that said it. I'm wrong. Someone else said it.
It was it might have been the lead Red Ranger of the show at the time.
I think so, because it was Wild Force. I didn't really watch Wild Force.
I did. Wild Force wasn't bad, honestly.
Well, Wild Force was, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Wild Force the one where the dude actually stabbed?
Was the first time they started with only 3 Rangers, I think.
No, not Wild Force. I think you're thinking about...
I thought it was.
No.
No?
Wild Force...
This is Wild Force, isn't it? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had 5.
I think about Jungle Fury.
Yeah, Jungle Fury. That was the one they
Wild
started
Force,
with.
Jungle Fury. It's the same concept.
No, I was wrong, because it wasn't Jason, because I remember at the end, a couple of them started to argue, and they're like, wait.
Was it him? It wasn't
one.
him, was
it? Yes. He's also in real life, the actor who played the Red Ranger.
You told
in
me
Wild
this.
Force.
Yeah. He's, oh God, what did you say?
He murdered his roommate.
He's a fucking psychopath.
Well, they got into a fight, and for whatever reason, and this sounds bad because I am a weeb, and this is probably something I could see having in my house. He had a katana and stabbed his roommate.
It was a replica of the Power Ranger one, wasn't it? I thought that's what it said. It was like a show replicate of his sword in the show.
I don't think so. I think it was just a regular katana. I could be wrong.
Didn't they put him in like a psych ward after that? Other than jail. But didn't they put him
I'm trying to remember. Okay. See, now I feel like I need to look this up.
Yeah.
Because this is pressing news.
I remember you telling me that. I think didn't he get charged with that after I had met you? Or was that...
Yeah, because what happened was okay, yeah, it was voluntary manslaughter. He was in prison for a bit. So that was the messed up thing. That was the fucked up thing. Because he was the Wild Forest Red Ranger.
You know what I feel bad about? Me and you joked about this.
Yeah.
A lot.
He was the Wild Forest Red Ranger. They brought him back to Power Rangers as a villain, remember? Who carried around a sword.
Yeah, it was the replica of that sword that he did it with.
Was it?
It had to, I swear to God. It was a replica of that sword.
That seems like it'd be too...
Because he kept it as like in his thing as like a memorabilia thing. And it ended up being it's evil went into his apartment apparently.
I'm trying.
And it migrated into his body. And apparently his roommate said, I don't like you very much, and that's how that
I'm
went.
trying to look it up, and I feel like no one wants to...
No one wants to tell you.
Well, I'm afraid of like what kind of sword they're gonna say.
I'm
I
telling
don't
you, it
even
was
know
a
if anyone
replica.
says it. That sounds like, and I know this sounds bad. It sounds like it's too good. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like it's too ironically
no,
funny.
it was a large double-edged sword.
So wasn't it? I
No.
could've swore.
No, because in the show he used the katana.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I sound super fucking nerdy. Fuck you, I don't care. In the show he used the katana as his weapon, so it couldn't have been. It's a katana.
It's a katana.
And not a double-edged sword.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not the right sword, man. It's a katana. Let me fix my glasses.
I feel like I did that voice a little too well.
Well,
Just I had to really work and just get real amazingly.
The
Yeah, now you're on the Forever Red.
I keep conveniently turning to the page that we need.
Uh-huh.
The Forever Red episode, I think it shocked me at the time because I didn't realize how much Power Rangers I watched until this episode.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
there were
you
so many
realize,
Red
yeah.
Rangers.
And that's
popped up
there.
in
We're not
this.
even talking about
Oh,
like
no, yeah. I
the
don't
Mega
know.
Force
I
thing
don't
when they
know.
had like.
Part of me is kind of glad I never got to that because I don't think I could handle that many Rangers in one episode.
I watched.
You made me watch it, I think.
Oh, that's
actually.
right.
I just don't really quite remember.
I love you just said you made me watch this. You're fine. Just go ahead and. Guess I'm the bad guy here.
All right. Well, to switch topics a little, what was going back to the on attitude thing?
Okay,
To
so
get back to that.
and I bring this up because it's a meme that was going around. I think you remember the meme. And when you think about the meme, you're just like, you know what? That makes sense. Because everyone used to say for the longest time, oh, like teenagers with attitude, like they're the nicest kids, literally nicest kids. What attitude? If you think about it, they would send one monster down. And what would happen? I mean, they sent a group of putties, so they were outnumbered. You know, putties are just the, pad time and everything, do some light work, and
It's
then they
like
have the main monster. So what happens with the main monster? Every time.
Make my monster grow.
No, well, not that part. But it's 5-on-1.
Yeah.
So literally, they jumped every.
Yep, yeah.
So you can kind of say attitude because as soon as a monster showed his face
Yeah.
and was ready to start some shit, 5 teenagers put on their colors, and basically stomped the
You
shit.
put way too much thought into this with attitude thing. Oh my
Look,
god.
it was a meme. You remember the meme now that I said,
Yeah.
and it's not wrong.
No.
It's
No. So, I don't know how long you want this to go for, but if we're still good, like I'll keep going.
I'm about to say we can.
Where are we at?
I'm looking at this thing, and I don't have this thing set for how long the episode is. And I also didn't set a time limit for how long this episode is, because I don't really give a fuck.
Okay.
I mean, but it is like 10-something, so...
No, you're good.
I mean, we can talk a little bit more,
yeah.
we can wrap up.
You're good. Question, because I gotta know, this is the one thing I wanted to know. What, excluding movie villains, because I don't know how many movies you've seen outside of Mighty Morphin.
I've seen Turbo, because there was only Mighty Morphin, Turbo, and
there's
then
Lightspeed Racer, there's Lost
not a
Galaxy
movie.
Yes, there is. My son has it on the thing.
Those are not movies. Those
That-
are not actual movies.
I thought
Those are from the show.
That's just episodes?
Just
I haven't
episodes.
actually watched it. It looks
Yes.
like it says Lightspeed Racer movie, though.
Nope.
No?
Those are episodes.
I'm going to have to check that. I thought there were.
Maybe
it was just... Was Zeo a movie?
The expert, no.
No? So it was just Turbo
The
and
most
Mighty
you
Morphin?
saw of Zeo in the movie was the beginning of Turbo.
So it was just Turbo and Mighty Morphin?
Mm-hmm. And then you had
I don't know much about...
you had the movie, the reboot movie a couple years ago.
I don't know much about Turbo, but because I had the tape. By the way, a tape's a black little square that you put in a VCR. But you know what? Never mind.
For you Gen Zers out there who I don't think any of you are actually listening to
It had
this.
that thing where it was messed up. You know how it would do that little...
Oh, yeah,
Every 2 seconds it would show the little gray fuzzies. That's what my Turbo did, so I never watched it.
It was streaming on something not too long ago.
I have watched it, but I haven't watched it as religiously as Mighty Morphin.
Okay.
But
so the beginning of that, they show because they changed the power.
Yeah, they show how the kid becomes a Turbo Ranger too, right?
Yeah, but at the beginning of it, Kat and Tommy are running from something. They jump over. They jump down the waterfall
because they had creepy they were on a boat or something, if I remember correctly.
They were on a
they
boat
had
at
creepy
one
little
point.
turtle monsters or something they had to fight. It was weird. But anyway, back to my question.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of the movies, who was your favorite? Even including the Make My Monster Grow villains. Do you have a specified favorite villain?
Ooh, there are a few.
Because I know mine, and I think mine will shock you.
Tell
And
me
no,
yours.
it's not Ivan Ooze. It's not Ivan
Tell me
Ooze.
yours.
Mine is Rito. I
Really?
loved Rito. Loved him. The Rito, or when I got older and we watched all that on Netflix, everything on Netflix. The villain from the girl from I want to say it's
Astronomer?
Space with the gold eye thing. No, not the gold eye thing. I'm an idiot. The Scorpion girl.
Oh, Scorpina.
Yes.
Scorpina was
I
dope.
loved Scorpina.
Yeah, I like Scorpina. If I had to jump off, the first name that always comes to mind is Goldar. Goldar was...
Yeah, I loved Goldar too, but then
that rivalry. And then they
the
dumbed
remake
him down.
decided to poo all over him, and
they already pooed on him when they made him comic relief later on with Bulk and Skull. When now you remember that, don't you? When they had the detective agency, him and Rito couldn't remember who they were, so part of the thing they had to do was help them regain their memory.
They did make Goldar worse throughout time, but the
Scorpion is good.
The movie just took the idea of him and threw him in the trash, and I'll never forgive that movie.
I feel
because of that.
Dark Ecliptor was a good Goldar replacement. Space. He was the one who had took care of
astronomer. I'm not good with names.
He was the one who had rescued or found Astronomer when she was a kid and kidnapped her so she could be evil.
I love Zed too. I loved the design of Zed, like the way he looked. Just because it was way at the time it was such a good villain.
He was creepy as shit.
Yeah.
And he just looked powerful.
Yeah. Although he never really did anything.
No.
Other than make things grow.
Yeah,
that was
basically.
He never actually fought them, did he?
No.
If I remember correctly? No.
I don't believe so.
They just blew up his dragon.
They blew up his dragon. That he piloted the dragon, I think. Possibly.
Yeah, but
was it Goldar? No, I think
everything after that they actually ended up fighting the actual villains, right? Most of them.
To a certain degree. To a certain degree, yeah. After a while they start having them fight the villains.
I did start to like Dino Thunder's villain a lot.
So
the dinosaur. He was cool.
There's a video that actually talks about how he's one of the... Someone was saying they feel like he's one of the best villains.
He was really good. I was shocked.
For the show.
Because he looked... when I first saw him, I was like, this is kind of dumb. But a lot of things about Dino... I remember that episode I showed you where I said, Joe, come look at this? And it was a kid in the episode talking, but it was clearly an adult voice trying to act like a kid, dubbing over what he was saying. Do you remember that?
Wasn't that actually Wild Force?
No, that was Dino Thunder. That was
Was it Dino
recently
Thunder?
that I showed you that.
Okay, I think I'm getting it. Oh no, I think I'm getting confused with it. It was either Wild Force or something else after, where there was a kid who was supposed to be a god, basically, and he had taken the form of a kid, and that was pretty bad.
This
too.
was 100% supposed to be a kid because the whole story was like at the bulk and skull of that show. I can't remember their names, but the girl and the guy who did like the filming and stuff, they made a deal with this kid. And the kid came back and said something to the girl, and you could clearly tell it was like a woman's voice trying to be a kid, just dubbing over his voice. It was so bad and hilarious.
Well, it's and the interesting thing about that, the girl from that was a villain in the previous Power Ranger series.
The girl
too.
that dubbed the voice?
No. The girl that was one of the Vulcan Skull.
Oh, the blonde chick?
Yeah, she was one of the daughters or whatever, or the nieces in Ninja Storm.
Oh, see, I didn't watch Ninja Storm. I didn't get that far.
Ninja Storm was before Dino Thunder.
There's so many ninja ones. I don't remember.
The last ninja one that aired was Ninja Steel.
Okay, so see, because it's been a while since I blasted through them like that. Dino Thunder was the most recent one I watched, which I would have finished all the Power Rangers if Netflix didn't do the dumbest thing ever. But what are you gonna do? They up their price and they take things away. What are they? What?
You're not bitter though.
Not bitter. No, not at all.
No. Well, I think this was entirely a mistake. We should have never done this. We are sorry for wasting your time. I had fun too.
Total fun.
Oh, I'm just admitting that we wasted everyone's time, but it was a good time.
No, this is your get-go. This is where this becomes the greatest podcast of all time. This is the start of it, right here. It's a chain reaction.
If I have a podcast becomes the greatest podcast of all time, I weep for humanity.
You give another reason for Tyrice to mope when he loses at Tekken 7 when your podcast becomes better than his.
I knew you were going to bring that up. Look.
I waited to the end at least.
Yes. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say this because Tyrice is going to be the one who's like editing this and making sure the sound is.
Oh, Lord, he's going to cut this out.
So I'm going to say this directly to you, Tyrice. Tyrice, you done fucked up. Tyrice, I am coming to eat your motherfucking lunch. How dare you think that you can challenge me? You haven't even touched a Tekken game since Tekken Tag Tournament 2. Do you know what happened last time I played Tekken Tag Tournament 2? That was like a couple years ago at a Christmas party. And I whooped 2 people and no one else wanted to play. With characters I don't even really play with. Now, I'm playing Tekken 7 now. I feel like I'm like starting to pull a Xavier Woods.
You're doing something. I don't know what you're doing.
Like I'm starting.
You're having
my tone.
You're having a monologue at the moment.
I'm definitely having a monologue. I just need you to know. I've been playing. I've been training. Tyrice, when I beat you, it is going to be one of the most regrettable moments of your life. You're gonna look back at your life as an old man. And you might have a couple of small regrets here and there, but you'll be like, I lived a good life except for one thing. I ran my mouth and told Joe that I would beat him at Tekken 7. I flapped my gums needlessly and provoked that man into fighting me in Tekken 7. And the only thing I have left to show for it. Well, you know what? And I'm saying this because I'm trash talking, so Chris, don't take this personally.
I'm not saying anything.
But you are an Eagles fan, Tyrice. You should be used to losing. This is going to be no different.
Bye, guys.
This is going to be no different. You think it hurts when you see draft picks come and go? You think it hurts when Wentz fucks up and costs you guys the game? You don't know what pain is, but you're about to. I promise you. So, I mean, that's all I really had to say about that. You brought it up. And even you admit, he was talking a lot of shit.
No, he was, but I wanted you to win up until you said that Eagles thing. So, good luck, Tyrice. Train, please. God, train. Defeat him for that. Oh, by the way, I want winner. Because I feel like it's going to be Joe, and he deserves to get whooped after that. So, I want winner.
Well, you know what? We're going to end this podcast right now. And we can run it right now, Chris. We can run it right now.
Fine with me.
All right, so this is the end of the podcast. Chris, anything else to say to the people? Your first time? I think you did good on your first time.
Yeah, I mean, having a beer helped, but
Having,
you know.
well, I mean,
Lightened me up a little bit.
yeah, exactly. So,
Rocky deserved better. Let's go.
all right, you heard him. And just remember, Jason was the best. Tommy was just someone who decided to work for the money. And Tyrice, I'm gonna whoop that ass. Good night.